how fast we're going? That's too fast for you?
No.
Oh, come on. You ready for this ride?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know what it's called.
We're going to...
Car race?
Yeah, we're going to the Jumble Air event. So let's get directions. Alright, so talk Michelle into, even though I'm going to SEMA tomorrow, Michelle let Rai and I go to the Jumble Air event. Now, I'm not going to be driving in it, just going up to check it out. Just to hang out for a little bit. So I figured what we do is give you an update on the S2000 while we're on this trip. So Rai, what do you think about this car?
I like it. It's my favorite, craziest car.
This is your favorite, craziest car?
Yeah, because it feels like it goes the fastest.
Yeah.
But the coolest one is the white one.
The white one, the new white one? Yeah, well, we haven't driven that yet because we haven't gotten it yet. But I've gotten a chance since selling my blue GT3 and the GT350 to spend a little bit more time with this car. Now, I still don't have the wheels and tires on it yet, so I think that's going to make a significant difference. Getting it, I have the suspension all set up for the wider wheels and tires, and so I want to save my judgments for having brakes and tires and wheels and have it all set up. And I'll probably have to go back and tweak the alignment a few times just to get it set up the way I want. I've actually scheduled that appointment for a week or so after I get back from SEMA. So I'm leaving Monday. I'll be back after the Rupa's event on Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be back in town on Monday, and so I have I have it scheduled for a week later, a week after that. So I actually, again, for I think the third time, I've raised the suspension up. And I'm sorry, we don't have any good roads to go down on the way here. So we're going to be driving more highway than anything. But I've raised the front end up and the rear end up a little bit, so it's a little less rubbing with the factory spacer, the 25 millimeter spacers on the factory wheels. Steering is still heavier than I'd like. The clutch is a little chattery on, especially when it's cold, as you're sort of feathering the clutch to move. Like if I was pulling out of the driveway, there's some, you can hear I'm guessing it's the lighter weight flywheel, the combination of the ride from the suspension. The ride is fine. The Olin's DFVs are pretty darn comfortable. I haven't messed with the compression rebound setting so I'll play with that a little bit once I get everything set up. But the ride is pretty compliant. I mean, that's not a complaint. It just right now I feel so twitchy. I'm so all over the place. So I'm hoping once I get the wheels and tires on it and I get the suspension set up right, that I'll like the car more. But I've been driving around all week, and I gotta be honest, I'm liking it. Like I wasn't. It's just not the car that I remember it being. Even a modified version of what I had in the past. It's just simpler, and that's part of the appeal to it. But again, the issue I'm having is driving around in a GT3, and now we'll be driving around in an RS. The question is, does the car hold up? And I'm not making any rash decisions, but we'll see. I may sell it, I may not, and we'll play it by ear and see see how it goes. The one thing that has become a bit of a problem is that, again, when and if those of you who watch some of the other driving videos of this car, as I'm driving or as I'm under load or heavy wide open throttle, it'll tend to block me or lock me out of third gear. I think that has something to do with torque on the transmission. I'm not really 100% certain, but the car tends to have a hard time getting into gear, and I'll miss third gear and have to double clutch and then come back into gear. So that is one thing. But other than that, the car is OEM-like, power delivery. It's just a whole lot more of it. And surprisingly, it's probably because of the way the torque is being delivered, but the rear end is super planted. So that's been a surprise. I thought it'd be sliding around all over. Yeah, we're gonna have to get some gas, right? See the gauge? It's not empty yet.
Yeah.
We'll get some gas in a little bit. So this thing's a work in progress, and I found myself becoming a lot less patient with doing modifications and getting the car set up. And this has been part of the epiphany of having all these parts laying around and having all these cars. It's just, I forget about how much effort and how much time and energy it takes, even just having one car, as you're modifying things and to work through the process of getting it set up the way you want. When you start doing this stuff, there's a bit of a chase that happens. You have to chase perfection or chase making it work. You know what I'm saying? It takes a while. Lots of left lane drivers. Takes a while, takes some trial and error. Even though I've had these cars before, a lot of parts have come out since. And so some suggestions from some people. Steve, one of the followers, has suggested several different parts for the origin fab bushings for the A arms, the control arm, the upper control arms up front, and things like that have been super helpful in getting me up to speed on what needs to happen in order to fit the wheels and tires on this thing, because doing the traditional S2000 spec, it's not aggressive enough. And then if you want to do big brakes, which I do, to help combat all this power, then I had to chase this rabbit hole, so I head down that path. And that's part of what's been the frustration, is that the car just doesn't handle like I'd hoped it would. And the time it takes to get to the point, or get the car to the point to where I'm satisfied, has been very different when you have 4 cars or 5 cars, including Michelle's, versus 1. And in the past, no kids, no multiple businesses, just one thing to focus on. And so now my focus or my attention has been on multiple things. And so, the realization is that I just need to be patient. I'm going to be more patient with getting this car set up the way I want, and then make a decision of whether it's what I actually want. If it's the car that I think it can be, or it just, it satisfies whatever performance metric I was hoping to hit. I don't know it by feel, and that's hard to quantify. If it feels right, and if I'm excited to get in the car and go for a drive or take it somewhere, then that's the smell test. Then I'll know, if it's right or wrong. So anyway, the wheels, the Volkswagen E28 ends, and plus, so I'm doing 17 by 9.5 plus 50 millimeter offset front and rear, so it'll be a square setup. I ordered the tires, I ordered the TPMS. I already have all the other parts. I scheduled the appointment at Dynasty to go down and get them mounted, balanced. And while I'm there, rather than me fumbling through doing the brakes myself, Bill and I will just do the brakes and be done with it. So we'll do that all most likely in one day, probably a 6 or 8 hour day. I don't think the brakes take terribly long on this, but I'll put some Motul racing brake fluid in the car, and then do the first iteration of the suspension setup, probably go down and do a few more tweaks, and then I'll be doing a lot more driving, a lot more videos, talking through the car and sharing the performance of it and sharing my experience of it. Driving it a lot more has made me, or reminded me, why I like this car. I mean, the transmission there's nothing else like it in the world. It's just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So, Rye, what do you think? We're going to watch some cars race today? I think they'll let me race this one. No. My RS should be here in, a week and a half, and then I think it stinks is my darn Raptor is going to be here right at the same time. I can't handle all this. Still haven't decided what we're doing, whether we're trading my old Raptor or Michelle's Tahoe, so we'll have to make that decision this week, on which car I'm trading in. The trade-in values are 38 grand for the Tahoe and 40,000 for the Raptor, so you're right in the same ballpark. So the advantage for me, from a financially, is that the Raptor will hold its value another year, and the Tahoe will be worth 15 grand or a year or two. In a year or two, the Raptor will probably be worth some similar number. I think just because of how I will use this car, the drone really bothered me in the beginning. I think I've kind of grown into it. I've become okay with it. Someone had made a comment about, because I said, I don't really care about 8 to 10 horsepower difference between, doing a Skunk 2-header and the Toda header. It's not gonna, the thing is crazy fast, and I'm not using all that performance anyway. So, I don't really care about, again, trying to squeeze an extra 5 or 10 or 15 horsepower out of a car that already has plenty of horsepower. And as usual, S2000 hardtops always have this air leak right here, so I'll have to adjust it a little bit. Usually what I've ended up doing in the past is put a little bit of weather stripping in there. But everything else has been great. I do have some tweaks to the stereo. I haven't done the video on this yet, but I did JL CS 650s in the door active, so no crossovers, which I won't do that again. It makes it such a pain in the rear to tune it. I haven't really done any adjusting or tuning to it yet. There's the single JLW3 stealth box in the trunk area, and I don't know why they didn't do a sub control in the car, but the Pioneer DEH80, which is one of the last standalone, has a parametric EQ built in. So I didn't want to run a separate Moscone or a separate Audison. I didn't want to run or even audio control EQ, and that adds a lot of cabling and cost, and I didn't want to go there on this car. So anyway, I have the front stage. I'm going to do some time aligning. All the sound comes out of the left where I'm sitting. You have to do some time alignment in order to make sure that you get a center image. But it sounds okay. The stereo is a large portion of what's made me enjoy this car more. I turn the stereo on, and then I don't have to listen to as much of the rattling. It just overcomes a lot of that. But drivetrain-wise, other than that little hiccup in third gear, it's bulletproof, man. That's what's so great about these things. The exhaust, the intake, or the exhaust, the intake into the supercharger, and every part and piece of this, all the fit and finish and the operation is like it came from the factory. So that's what I really wanted. If I can get the suspension feeling like that as well, it might require me to come up a little bit higher, maybe come up another 1/4 inch or so. The wheels and tires, I do think it's going to be great. I've got 3M crystalline, 40% on the sides and back, crystalline on the windshield, which seems to be perfect. You know, I went a little lighter on this car because it's smaller inside, so I normally do 20%, plus 3M crystalline on the sides and back look purple, so they're not really it's not really a viable option. The power delivery on this thing is insane.
You're going 80.
Hey, keep it down, right? We don't want to tell everybody how fast we're going. That's too fast for you?
No.
Oh, come on. This car is so fun, though. You don't really have to go all that fast to make it feel like you're going fast, right?
It feels like we're going really slow right now.
Oh, you're tricking me.
No, I'm not.
But like I said, I mean, just cruising here, getting 6th gear, and just chill. It's not bad. I can kind of work around the drone. I can get rid of this air leak over here.
Yeah, there's like... It's right here too. Like,
Sounds like the window's open.
no, there's like gas right there. Like,
Air gas.
yeah. Right here. No, there's a black one.
But it's so different than, you know, stock S2000. If you just like in 5th gear and you just roll on the throttle, the thing just pulls. And then this Clutchmaster's clutch is pretty good. Feels very OEM like. You know, other than the little bit of chatter I'll get. We'll see if I can do it here as we pull away. Yeah. It's so fast. What do you think about that, Rai? So, you know, in a straight line, it's super fun. If I can get the steering and handling dialed in, then, you know, around a turn, if I can make that super fun, then we're good. If I do keep this thing, I'm fairly certain I'm going to send it up to Ohio, and we're going to do a wrap on it. You know, paint protection film. This black, man, it's really hard to deal with.
There's something in the road.
The box. Left lane drivers. Think we can beat this guy? Next to us?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to go to one lane up there? Maybe.
We might get green light first. Go, yeah! Oh, we beat him too.
Did we beat him?
I want to see him.
Right, they're still at the light.
No, they don't have the light. I can see him. Oh, that's a junkyard.
it's the dump.
We're on trash.
Remember we came this way when you were playing football.
What?
We came this way for your football games.
I remember that.
Think we can go faster in this minivan?
Yes. Oh, maybe. Yes. Can you go super fast? Oh, yeah, now we can. Just barely even going.
Going too slow now?
Yeah. Think we can catch up to that car all the way up there?
I think we might.
Oh, now we're gonna beat it for sure. Because it's at a red light. Look, so. Oh my word.
What?
I'm mad that we cannot beat that minivan.
Minivans are fast.
Oh yes. Come on, little mini. Now we can beat it. We just go right there.
We're gonna go around.
Come on,
This is a
baby.
fast one.
You're doing 80, 70, 60.
Crazy fast.
No, not crazy fast. Not even close to going crazy fast.
Oh shoot.
We gotta get gas.
Still have 4 bars, right?
Not 3 bars.
4.
3.
You can't see it.
Nice. Yeah. I can't see it. Yep. So we can only go 4 bars. I'm kidding.
No, we're gonna go to this gas station right here.
Yay! We have 15. No, we have.
Hey, did you know, see how this says 10?
Oh, that's $30.
Yeah, Rara was wondering about how this worked. He said, how do you have to pay for gas? So, hey, you know how this 10 here, that's how much we put in. So, you know that white thing of milk? Like that big gallon of milk? So that's 10 of those. Like if you put 10 of those in there, that's how much gas it took.
Okay.
All right, let's go get some money. Oh, this is a jumble air. What do you think of all these cars, Rye? It's crazy. I bottomed out pretty good putting my CR back there. We should come pull it up front here. Cold for this, Rye?
No.
It's like 60 degrees. We're freezing our butts off. You guys up north, all the people up north are laughing at us. This is gonna be crazy, Rye.
Why? Some people wear like winter clothes. That's so weird.
You don't have any winter clothes, do you?
Yeah.
See them down there? Up there, look. All the way up there. See them all? They're all in line. We're gonna go watch them.
When did the car start?
Come on. Stay with me. GTRs. Here's Nero's car.
I felt very comfortable. Down track at the end, it
What you got?
sloshy. Hey, how's it going?
What's up, guys?
You bring your RS?
No, I don't have it yet. So Nero just did 210 GTR. What's up, man? Hey, Rye, you went 210 miles an hour. Think we could ever go that fast? That's so fast.
WannaGoFast, racers and spectators. At this time, both Glens and Chevelles are serving some hot grub. If you're hungry or just needing a drink, go on by.
Here's Nero.
The orange car?
Yeah, the orange one, right? He did 210 last time. He did 210 miles an hour before. The Supras, looks like they're moving pretty good. It's 170s. Yep, 167, 170.
Toyota Supra in the left lane crosses the track speed of 167 miles per hour. Supra in the right lane crosses at 170 miles per hour. Up next in the
Fast.
left lane, a Nissan GTR. Right lane at 370.
That's it, buddy. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
This is cool. Gonna come back next year? So they're taking a lunch break, I guess. We're rolling. This is a quick $40 an hour event for us. So what do you think, buddy? Is that
It was
fun?
so cold. No, it's not fun. It
We
was
did
make it not cold.
we did an hour and a half trip to this place, and that's it.
Hour and a half.
And we're ready to go home.
Yeah, way too cold.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's roll. Anyway, want to go fast. That was about the extent of it. Ryan and I are heading home. I'll have more updates on the S2000 as I get them. Thanks for watching. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.